Welcome back everybody to another seasonal championship video where we're going to be doing Modern Age, which is a C-Class modern sports cars. So yeah, we're getting there in the Celine S1, I think the second to last car to be added to this game, before support generally drops off and yeah, the focus is on Forza Horizon 5 in a few months time. But yeah, still enjoying this game, even though obviously now there's going to be nothing new added to the game. But yeah, it does mean that it opens up new ideas for this game before we finally move on. So yeah, still going to be doing some seasonal championships, like I said a while back, when it comes to cars that I have not done, or seasonal championships that I've not done before. But really, it's going to be concentrating on, you know, top 10 videos, etc. You know, top 10 season pass cars or car pass cars, and top 10 cars added via the festival playlist. And then when, you know, the festival playlist continues on, obviously they're adding cars from the past several seasons for getting back on the game for people that have missed them. So yeah, I will be recommending cars as well that are getting added to the festival playlist for a second or third time round, because there's plenty of cars that haven't been given a second chance at being acquired. So we'll be looking at them at some point.
I've been looking forward to this autumn championship for ages. I think you'll enjoy this one. What am I saying? Of course you will.
And obviously, because I already own the cars, I don't have to wait till the end of the month to recommend anything. So yeah, look forward to seeing them. So yeah, we ain't got a brace of cars here. We've only got 5 to choose from, and 2 of them are practically the same. But yeah, we've got the Abarth 124 Spider, which has a decent amount of power and torque, but it is basically a MX-5 underneath, although not the generation that we have here to choose from. As you can see, that the older MX-5 from the last generation also has a decent amount of power and torque. Not quite as much torque though, because it isn't turbocharged, but it does have the larger engine. Slightly more in the way of weight though, but it does have better weight balance. And then we have the BRZ, which is basically the GT86, so good healthy 200 horsepower from a naturally aspirated engine, again heavier than the previous 2 cars, and also worse in terms of weight distribution. But the handling and braking is pretty good, but again not quite as good as the Fiat or the Mazda. And then we got the Tamo Racemo, a car that unfortunately has never been put into full production, which is despite the fact that this has really good handling and braking, and yeah, a decent amount of power and torque from a very little in the way of weight car. Weighs less than all 3 of the vehicles beforehand, as well as the GT86. And yet it's not way down on power, and that's despite the fact it's got the smallest engine, and it's from a company that really hasn't done anything like this before. So we're going to get in the Tamo first, because yeah, it is actually my favourite of the cars we've got to choose from to drive, even though obviously we're never going to get to drive it for real, which again is a shame, because it really does indicate the kind of sports cars that we're going to be seeing in the future. Small capacity but reasonably powerful cars that are really rather quite lightweight. Obviously we've seen this kind of stuff before with the likes of the Alfa Romeo 4C, and you know, Lotus vehicles have been doing it for years, but it's nice to see someone else doing it in a rather unique package, because it doesn't look like anything else out there, quite frankly. It's got so little in the way of weight, it's not really wasting any of that power that it's got. Even if it's not the most powerful going, it's still reasonably powerful. Wish it had a little bit more in the way of torque, but that generally comes with the fact that it's got quite a small engine. 1.2 as opposed to the Fiat's 1.4, and then obviously the 2 litres from the Japanese. So yeah, I've not really been keeping an eye on the Forza Horizon 5 news, to be honest. Generally because I want to be as you know, blind going into it as possible, because I want to be surprised by what I'm going to see. So outside of the trailers and the announcement at E3, I've really not seen very much at all. So yeah, I am going in as blind as possible, because I feel like that's the best way to experience something new, be it a film or a new album, a new game is just like that, quite frankly, for me. So, and since I know I'm going to enjoy it, I don't just really read reviews that are going to come out in the next few months or anything like that, because I trust that that Playground Games are going to do it right, because I have done 4 times in a row, so I have no reason to believe that the 5th time is going to be any different. Although I obviously am itching to know what kind of cars I'm going to be going around in. But I've seen plenty of the new vehicles in the trailer. Like I said, we saw the Porsche Taycan, we saw the new Land Rover Defender, the new Ford Bronco, and a couple of other vehicles probably in there as well. So yeah. The fact that we're getting our first all-electric car for a while that's new to a Forza game is also pretty encouraging. Hopefully that means signals that they are going to start representing more electric cars, because we don't have many on this game, and we've not had very many in the past on Forza games. I know we had a couple of Teslas at one point, although not on the same game, and then we also had some hybrids. Prius at one point or another, and we also had the Nissan Leaf as well, an all-electric car like that. But it would be interesting to see more modern cars, more modern electric cars, because the only modern ones that we've had on this game and the like is the Jaguar I-Pace and the Rimac Concept 2. Well, we've only got 2nd, but that's not bad for a no-name company that isn't going to be making this car, so that's pretty good. Does at least give us a solid 16 points, and 2nd place is far better than some places that we've had to start with on a championship like this. So yeah, regardless, let's get on to the 2nd race. So this one's going to be a bit more of a circuit-based race this time. So I think something that's got handling more than just outright acceleration is going to be the name of the game here. So the Fiat is technically the Abarth is technically the best in terms of handling, especially in comparison to the Mazda, but the Mazda has slightly more in terms of acceleration, but worse in terms of launch. So I'm not sure whether or not to go for something that has slightly more in the way of power, but more in the way of weight, but it's slightly better in terms of acceleration regardless of that weight, but also has a naturally aspirated engine, so it's not relying on a turbocharger to keep it in gear or anything like that. So I'll go for the Fiat. It's a bit of a gamble, because obviously if you're not in the right gear at the right time with a turbocharged small capacity engine like this, then you are running the risk of having no power at times. But it does have the better handling, it does have the less weight, it does have the more torque, even if it's slightly down on horsepower. So I'm trusting that the torque and the handling and better braking will suffice here. Still, this is an all-around really good car, this is. It's again another collaboration between a European manufacturer and Japan, because BMW did it recently with the Supra and the Z4. And this is obviously between Fiat and Mazda, which I have absolutely no problem with whatsoever. I know some people say it sullies the different brands, that they're sharing different parts and all that lot, but it's something that's happened for decades, quite frankly, in different manners in different countries. You look at America, it's always traded engines and platforms and everything with other different brands. Obviously those brands are under the same larger company, but regardless, it's nothing new that engines and platforms have been shared. So I'm alright with that. What I'm not alright with is the fact that we're lagging behind in 5th. Definitely got the better brakes and handling though, because we gained big time on 4th place. this definitely has the better handling. Feel how much lighter it is over the over other cars that are in this kind of class. Although obviously the GT86 there has the bigger power. Doesn't quite have the handling that we do because that's on skinny low friction tyres. I think someone said they were nicked from the Prius, so yeah, it doesn't give you the best of confidence going into corners when you've got that little amount of grip, even in a 200 horsepower car. Seems my fears have not been justified, thankfully. Looks like the torque might well have done us wonders for these little hilly bits. Even if we weren't gaining speed, we weren't losing it crucially as well. Mountains of torque in a quite lightweight vehicle like this is only a good thing. That's a comfortable win, that is. Definitely makes up for the second place that the Tamo got us in the previous race. Giving us the all-important 20 points. And now means that we're in first place, 2 points ahead of the Subaru, 6 points ahead of the Toyota, and another 12 points ahead of the other Toyota, and well ahead of the Tamo. So yeah, nonetheless, let's get on to the third and final race. So like with the first race, this is a point-to-point race, so I think we're going to have to go for pure power in this, but which one's better out of the Toyota or the Subaru? Apparently the Toyota has a better braking, but the BRZ has a better top speed. We'll go with the Subaru. I generally prefer Subarus to Toyotas anyway, so we'll go for that one. Whether or not the braking is going to make us suffer, we'll have to see. But they are largely the same car, so can't be that much of a big difference, surely. Certainly has the most power out of the vehicles that we can choose from. Not the most torque, obviously, but definitely the most powerful in terms of horsepower, but we're also heavier than the previous vehicles that we've been chosen. But we are naturally aspirated, I think. Pretty sure we are. Which means we've pretty much got power no matter what gear we're in. Quite revvy as well, more than 7,000 RPM. Even though we're heavier than the other cars, we're still by no means a tank. Gaining, come on. Keep the power, keep the power. Beautiful. yeah, not the best grip on the rear end of this. Like I said, the tyres aren't particularly well suited to high-paced racing. They do tend to step out at times, but apparently that's part of the fun of this car. It's quite basic in how it handles. It's nothing spectacular, but it does the job and provides plenty of fun. And at the end of the day, looking like we got the win. Yeah, we're pulling well ahead of everyone else. And there we go. Second win of the championship. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And it seals us the deal by 8 points ahead of the GT86, 16 points ahead of another BRZ, 22 points ahead of an Abarth, and 28 points ahead of a fellow BRZ. So yeah, there we go. Not the most high speed of championships there, but an interesting choice of cars. And at the end of the day, it gets you a Porsche 718 Cayman S or whatever it is. So yeah, if you've not got that car, then obviously it's well worth doing this championship. I already do, and it's not my favourite of Porsches, but it's still a decent car to have regardless. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.